Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me. Dr. G here. I had some interesting experience today and just want to share with you guys a little something about hope. Going back to my earlier years as a psychologist, I worked in an inpatient mental health unit, and most people were committed there involuntarily. But there were some people who checked themselves in. And the longer I worked there, the I would see a common thread occurring in the people that were there, and it centered around hope. Um, and it just became glaringly apparent to me that majority of people that found themselves in a locked psychiatric unit uh, had a hope that was missing in their life. And um, I just want to share my thoughts on that and what maybe can be done about it. So, people would be in this locked unit, and as I talked to them, I would hear what brought them there. And, it would be random things such as my wife just left me. Um, it would be that I just got fired from my job. Um, my child, um, you know, disowns me. Um, could be I have nothing to live for. A variety of reasons. But what ties it all together is the thing that they were holding on to in life, the thing that motivated them, the thing that maybe gave them purpose or motivation to keep moving in life. And so, for example, a relationship. I would talk to a guy who had nothing to live for. His wife just up and left him. And what else is there in the world? Or a man was fired from his job, and okay, that was my dream job. I'm never going to find another one like it. And so again, what's the point of going on? And the stories all have a similar ending: is something happened in my life and I can't see a way forward. I have no hope. I can't see my way out of this darkness. Um, and so people would become suicidal. They would think, "What's the point in living? My thing that I loved the most or cherished is taken away from me." And so uh, I liken it to what they put their hope in. They put their hope in their marriage. Well, yeah, we should have a positive hope that our marriage is going to turn out well. Things will get better. We'll be married forever. I mean, that's a good thing, but that becomes kind of like an idol, or like, this is it. This is what my world's about, is my marriage. I remember this one lady that she was married for 40 years, found out her husband was cheating on her, and uh, he left. And she came to me, and she wasn't very upset about it. Yeah, she was hurt. I mean, who wouldn't be? But she didn't seem devastated by it, and I was just shocked by that. And I had to comment on it, and I asked her, why is she not that uh, that devastated by it? And she said, because I didn't put all my eggs in one basket. I'm like, oh, you need to educate me on this. I don't understand. And she said, well, I love my husband. I, pictured us married forever. I would do anything for him, but it wasn't like my all in all. I mean, I do have friends, I do have family, I do have a job, I do have hobbies, I do have, other passions in life, and that just struck with me that, you know, she had a sense about her that, although she wanted to cherish the marriage, she um, ultimately thought that, I need to have an identity in other things as well, not just as a wife. And so that just stuck with me. But getting back to the hope issue, again, a guy that loses his job put his hope in his job, his career. Well, this is never going to end. This is the best thing for me. I'm going to see myself retiring, and this is what I live for. And I wake up and I'm happy, and then it gets taken away, and a person's left with, they don't see anything else, anything worth living for. And just one more quick part of that, when we therapists do suicide assessments, one of the major red flags of someone that might actually follow through with a suicide attempt is a lack of hope. That is like the number one key thing to look for. Is if a person has no hope, then again, what's the point in living? So the common thread, people feeling the worst of their worst in their life, they end up in a locked psychiatric unit, and it is a commonality of no hope. What's the point? What's the point of living anymore? And there is truth to that. There is, if you idolize this one thing in your life, and it's taken away from you, then you're left almost like in quicksand. You're sinking. You're losing grasp of your purpose. You're the thing that keeps you moving forward in life, and that is a serious flaw we people have in life, is that we dedicate our lives, our ambitions, our aim at these things in life that can be taken away, can be lost within a blink of an eye. And yes, I remember one guy. He was very old, and he was saying he was ready to die. He's ready to die. And I had another therapist who was working with him come to me, and she was like, I don't know what to do with him. We need to convince him. We need to convince him life is worth living. And, I go talk to him, and he's elderly. He's got medical conditions. His wife passed away. He's lonely. I mean, what do you tell a guy in that situation? Like, cheer up. Tomorrow will be better. Look on the bright side of things. I mean, he had legitimate reasons to want to die. But here's the funny part, and here's where I'm getting at with my point is, although all these things were taken away, he wanted to die because he had a hope in the afterlife. He had an assurance that when he dies, he's going to heaven. He's going to meet Jesus. And that was comforting to him. That was actually comforting. The things in the world that he's relied on obviously have withered away. People have died in his life. Health conditions deteriorate, whatnot. And but he wanted to die not because all that was taken away, but because he had something he was looking forward to. Now he wasn't going to actively kill himself. People, other therapists were freaking out. Oh, he's going to kill himself. And you talk to the guy and he's like, oh, I'm not trying to kill myself. But he asked me if I'm ready to die. If I want to die, I'm like, yeah, I want to die. I'm ready to be at peace with my maker. And so, but his hope was in an eternal hope. I told my pastor I'll quote him today. It's funny that we talked about that in church today as hope. And when we talk about hope, the worldly view of hope is like I'm desperate for something. There's this desperation. There's this neediness that, boy, I hope my life turns out well. I hope this situation turns out well, like because we don't want to suffer, and so we really are grasping at things. But when we have a hope in Jesus Christ, that is an assurance. That is a guarantee. That is a guarantee of all his promises. That is a guarantee of what he says about the afterlife. And that hope is a glorious hope. That is a hope that surpasses even the best thing in the world. And so when we put our hope in Jesus Christ, we can ride out that storm. We can go through the things in the world that start to crumble around us because we have this hope that God wins, it gets better, there's an eternity waiting for me. And that is something you can cash in on 100% of the time. And thank you, Juba74, for joining me. And so there is a difference there. There is a difference from the folks that want to say, I need to end my life because all my hope has been taken away, compared to someone who believes in an almighty God that says, no matter what happens, no matter what's taken away in my life, I still have that assurance and that everlasting hope. And so what's my point in this? There's storms come, and if we put our trust in things that are tangible, our money, boy, as long as I have enough money, life is going to be good. As long as I take care of my body and do everything I'm supposed to, exercise, eat healthy, I'm gonna live a long life. And as long as I'm the best husband, my wife's always going to stand by my side. It's always like we're working towards something that we're gonna hold on to. And listen, if you live long enough, those things go away. Whether on accident, whether circumstances. I tell couples, I'm not going to say all the time, but I've told them, you can be the best husband in the world. That doesn't guarantee anything about your wife. You can be the best parent in the world. That doesn't mean anything about how your children might grow up in that relationship to you. And so I see it as, Jesus talks about building your house on sand and rock. If we build our house on sand, if we build our foundation, our identity, our worth, our place in this world on things that I'm comparing it to, well, at least I'm a better person than them. At least I have a better job. At least I get more money. At least people respect me. I mean, if it's all these things we're building a case for ourselves, that is like sand. because, again, there's no guarantee with any of that stuff. And when we're riding in sand, it's going to come and we're going to feel hopeless. And again, what's the point? What's the point of living? And I've seen that time and time again with people that I counsel. And so Jesus came, and I'm a big believer in this. I believe in everything he said, is that he is hope. He gives us a heart transformation to want him and to focus our life and our identity in him. And he doesn't go away. He is solid. He is that rock. He says he's the rock. And if my foundation is built on him, what he says about me, what he says about my eternity with him, what he says about how he cares for me and he doesn't leave me, those are assurances that get me through those difficult times. Doesn't mean the difficult times don't come. I wish they didn't, but they come. But again, my eyes get set on him. My foundation is on him, and he is good to keep his promises. And so, would I share that in a counseling session with someone? Probably not, because not everyone is a believer in Jesus. And but my experience, I've seen it. I've lived it. I've experienced it, and I've seen it in folks. Is people that become suicidal, they've lost hope. And I just want you to know that there is an everlasting hope out there that surpasses what a person can do for you to give you hope, or what something or some status or some wealth can do for you to give you that hope that we all need. Because believe me, we all need it. If I wasn't hopeful for a better tomorrow, a better future, a better eternity, I would be in that same boat and question, what's the point here? So that's just something that's been on my mind. When I went to church today, my pastor started talking about this. So I'm like, hey, I want to share it with people. So anyway, I hope this is helpful for you. Please, my goal here is to interact with you, just maybe as if we were in a counseling session, or for you to get a perspective of what a therapist might think, or what a Christian might think or do in certain situations. So please write a comment, write a question. I'd love to answer that for you and give you some practical advice that might help you get through some things that you're struggling with. So in any case, it's getting late and I'm ready for bed. So thank you again very much for joining me, and look for some more videos to come. Have a good night.